What is up, everyone? Starting my live stream now with your boy Tim. My original goal was to go live 3 times a day, but now my goal has switched. So now I'm going to get to going live every day for at least an hour or more. So jump on board, jump on here, get in the comments. Let's type where you're from, where you're at, what you're doing, if you're in digital marketing, if you're not in digital marketing, if you're in affiliate marketing, or if you're in product creation, drop your comments in the comments section. If you guys have any questions at any point in time, let me know, and I will answer them the best of my ability. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about redirect, right, and how it can elevate your business. So that's kind of where we're at. Just a little bit about me. I got into digital marketing about 4 months ago. Um, that was from I've been on the online space for over a year now with ecom, and kind of learned everything as far as learned everything from the ground up. Just searching and scouring the internet and trying to get my foothold in this online space. And I started a t-shirt company called Messiah Crew. Right. Let me see if I can. Messiah Crew. Yeah, Messiah Crew. It's faith-based Christian clothing brand, and if you want some rad clothing, and that was a thing. I didn't see a lot of designs that were faith-based that were kind of that were suited towards me, right? Because I mean, look, this is Unworthy. If you've never heard of it, it's a Christian band. It's like a metalcore band. If you're into metalcore, heavy metal, hardcore, those types of things, then Unworthy is for you. It is sick shirt. They got a lot of good songs, and they're all faith based. They're all they're Christian. So that's really kind of like my scene. I like the hardcore scene. I like the skater scene. So I decided to start creating my own product line. I started designing my own T-shirts, and I wanted to bring that to the community, right? And that's exactly what I did. So you can check it out, messiahcrew.com. I got a lot of sweet designs. If you guys need personal designs, I do a lot of personal designing for T-shirts as well, custom T-shirts. So you can get a hold of me either at Messiah Crew, or you can just DM me, and I'll be happy to help you. But yeah, that's kind of how I started in the online space. I started to cultivate, my path within the online space by creating a T-shirt store, and then that propelled me into creating a book, and that book is called Men of Action. Right, and Men of Action is a faith-based. It's like a Bible study for men, so we can learn how to be men of action in today's world. Right, and it goes through and talks about the different men in the Bible who had men of action, who were men of action. So that's kind of what started really propelled me into the digital marketing space, because after I created that book, I've got a handful of books that I want to write and I want to create. So from there, I was able to find a course called Kingdom Coaching. And Kingdom Coaching is a faith-based approach to digital marketing, right? It's going to teach you exactly what the Bible says about building wealth and how to be good stewards of your wealth. And it's a pretty amazing course. And it's just basically, it's going to teach you all the biblical aspects that you need to know for creating a business, right? It's a biblical wealth creation course. And within that, you have He is Confident, She is Confident, which is a course that is going to tear down those limiting beliefs that you have and teach you how to be a good steward of your wealth. And a lot of people struggle with that as well as myself. And that's really what helped me break my limiting beliefs. And, really, it just clicked. learning and knowing, the promises of God and knowing who God says I am. And that was kind of, my propelling factor. Once I really realized my identity, I started to push past those limiting beliefs and, tear down those lies. And I just started creating, and I started creating a lot of different products. And then I started learning digital marketing and how to become a digital marketer, and how to brand myself and how to market. And it's a learning process. You have to be a student as well as a teacher. It seems like because people are coming into this space so often that you still want to be there for other people, and you want to be teaching them as well. Because there's a lot of bad information out there. I'm noticing and I've seen that there's a lot of bad information out there. I got in when I thought income claims were like what you're supposed to do. I thought you're supposed to go and just comment to everybody and say, hey, anything about about Kingdom Coaching, right? Cold DMing. And come to find out that's not okay. And that never taught me that in the course. That was just the mindset or the belief that I thought that's what you're supposed to do. Kind of like, knocking on people's door or calling people, like the old digital marketers or the old marketer ways, but it's going to teach you how to, become a good marketer. And again, it's a constant daily, I don't want to say grind, but you have to literally put the effort in. You have to put the work into it. So that's kind of, where it kind of started for me. And I've just been trucking along, you know what I mean? I've been trucking along, trying to learn as much as I can. And, the glorious part about it is, I've got a platform that has daily live coaching. And that's one thing that has really propelled me, or really helped me, I should say, is the daily life coaching, learning from some of the top industry leaders and earners, seeing what they're doing, how are they doing it, because I want to have the problems that they're having within their business, right? Because those are good problems. Those are problems that, are showing that, your track record is going to leave a trail, right? And if you are, being a good marketer and you are, having these problems that are good problems, such as, having too many people, right, contacting you, right, trying to find out what you are and what you're selling, those types of problems, right? Those are the problems that we want, right? And that's exactly what, redirect and Kingdom Coaching can lead you to, right? Now I'm think I'm going to be pivoting into, a different, I guess, niche, you know what I mean? Because I don't think the build wealth niche is really my forte. And that's just because, that's just not where my heart is. My heart is where, it's like mental health or food, so I think that's exactly where I'm going to start pivoting, because I love to be able to bring solid information that's beneficial to people. And I keep saying this, your life could be your life could be somebody's survival guide. That's why it's important for us to share our testimonies and share our life and what we've been through, because somebody else is probably going through it or has been through it or it's similar. And they're going to say, wow, you got through it. You know how to get through it. What do I do? You know what I mean? And that's going to help them keep going. And a lot of people give up. And that's what we don't want. We don't want you to give up, whether it's in the digital marketing realm, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whatever the case may be. There's no give up. That's what we need to realize. Most people quit before, the blessings come. Most people quit before the turnaround comes. Most people quit before the going gets good, because of the limiting beliefs that they've set inside of themselves, right? Or people are telling them and projecting at them. But if God has called you to it, then there's no quit, right? You're going to succeed. And it may not be in our timing, because again, a lot of times we're impatient. We think it's supposed to be now, right? Or 5 months from now, we need to be making lots of money. But that's not how it works, right? You got to put the effort in. You got to put the time in. You have to be a student of your craft, and the benefits will come. Slowly they'll come, and you'll see a trickle effect. And then pretty soon, it seems like, as I'm researching and I'm looking at, other people and how they're doing things and watching them, it's almost like, it's a trickle effect. And all of a sudden, bam, it happens. Whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, there's success. You just got to be willing to keep pushing, keep grinding, keep putting the effort in and showing up every single day, so that way you can have that success. And that's exactly what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. I want to coach you. I want to be able to give you words of affirmation, and I want to be obviously I'm going to be no BS, right? I'm going to tell you exactly how it is, right? People are telling you that, yeah, you can, make $5,000 a month, is giving you a false perception. Yeah, you're right. You probably can make that. I know a lot of people that are making that much money, but it took them 5 years. It took them a daily, it took them, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. But are you willing to put in that work? Are you willing to wait for that harvest? Are you willing to plant those seeds and then nurture it along the way? That's what it is. I just don't want to give anybody a false impression thinking that all I got to do is put up a few cute little pictures and, put a couple little posts up and wait to go viral. And all of a sudden you're going to be making tons of money, because that's not reality. So we need to break these limited beliefs, and we need to break the perception that a lot of these bad marketers have put onto this scene. Right. And the thing is you can learn how to be a good marketer, right? A lot of these courses are just the same information, just regurgitated, but they don't teach you legit marketing, it seems like. And that's just my opinion. But when I'm researching and I'm studying and I'm watching what's happening, I can see that there's a trend, especially with people who are, I guess, because I can see both sides of the picture when it comes to income claims. It's a great way to show people, like, yeah, hey, you put the work in, you put the time in, you grind, and you can achieve success, right? You're going to be able to make money eventually. But the false perception is that people think that it's going to be quicker than what it is, right? Because we have too many people sitting on the sidelines expecting the same results as you and I, and they haven't put in the work. I see that far too often. People want the results of other people's success without putting in the work. And that's a really big trend that I'm seeing within, I guess, just life, honestly. I see way too many people thinking that they should be successful, or they should be making lots of money, or, their company should be where your company's at. They're doing everything they should. But the thing is a lot of times we have to go back to the drawing board and we have to say, okay, well, what's working? What's not working? And we have to change our strategies. And you got to be okay with that. You have to have adaptability, right? We talk about, IQ, AQ, and, what's the other one? AQ is your adaptability, all right? You have to be able to be adaptable within the business world, right? Digital marketing world. If you're not adaptable, right, then you're definitely not going to make it, right? Because you're either going to be a now person, a later person, or a never person. So which one are you going to be? Are you going to be a now, and you're going to go back to the drawing board and you're going to look at your stats, look at your processes and procedures and whatever the case may be, and say, you know what I'm doing isn't working, or I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and maybe tweak a little bit of things here and there, and then see if I get any bites. And that's exactly what you need to be doing, right? Keep doing what you're doing. Because a lot of times people are just on the sidelines waiting and seeing what you're doing, getting to know you more. Because again, a lot of people only buy from people they like, know, and trust. So you have to build that trust. You have to get them to like you. right? But obviously be yourself, be authentic. But not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to like your product, and that's okay. And you have to realize that it's just not for them, right? If it's too expensive, then that's fine. It's just too expensive for them. You can't sell yourself short. You know what you're valued at. You know what your time's valued at, and that's what you need to address. So that's what I'm saying by as I'm researching and watching and seeing people within this scene. I'm pretty good at people watching. I'm pretty good at watching, being a fly on the wall, right? But now I'm starting to come out of the woodwork a little bit and show people, the true me. And that's what you need to be doing, right? And trying not to be as salesy. I don't want to come off as a salesperson. I just want to be able to put beneficial information out there that's going to help you, that's going to propel you, that's going to inspire you and uplift you. And that's my goal. And if I can do that, in my heart, I've won, right? I'm winning, right? And hopefully I'll show some of my culinary skills, right? So that's kind of, a little bit of my story and kind of how I got into this space. Before any of this, I was in the mortuary field, right? Before that, I was in the Corps, right? Got out in 2013, infantry, and for whatever reason, I was interested in, the funeral homes. I worked security, and we would release bodies to the funeral homes, and I was always just really curious, like what happened, right? I was really curious. So then I got a hold of one of the funeral homes and was like, hey, I'd like to, maybe see if I can get a part-time job. And, I became an FSA, funeral service assistant, and started helping with, clothing and makeup and casketing and, pickups and stuff like that. And then I got into cremation, became a licensed cremationist and did that for, a few years. But then, I had this real passion for cooking, and I was really good at it. I was really good at cooking. So I just used my GI Bill to go to culinary school. That was something that I wanted to do. When I was in high school, I wanted to go to Le Cordon Bleu in Minneapolis, but it just wasn't the right time. But so I just said, why not? We can do something fun. So I signed up for Le Cordon Bleu, used my GI Bill, and studied, got my associate's degree, and learned from some amazing chefs, and started to work around the valley for a while here in Arizona, and learned a lot. Learned a lot of skills, and I loved the kitchen. I loved the kitchen. I just love the hierarchy. I love the grind, right? I love the chaos. It seems like I thrive in the chaos. The yelling, the screaming, the being in the weeds. Working as fast as you possibly can, trying to troubleshoot things. Like that's but it does get to you for a while. And at that time too, I was extreme alcoholic, and that's the only thing that fueled me, right? Hate and booze. I would have to wake up every day and find somebody to hate or dislike, right? And be like, you know what, you're my enemy, and I need to work harder and faster and better than you, so that way I can succeed. And that's how I lived my life for several years, right? I had to be angry at something or somebody, right? Somebody had to be my enemy in order for me to keep going. So I did that for many years, and it took a huge toll on my family and my health and my life. So it was just right after COVID, I decided to step back from the culinary scene and reevaluate my life, I guess. And it's still, it's still an ongoing process to this day, but I think I'm in a good spot. You know what I mean? And, I've been sober since January, and I'm learning, who I am, finding my identity. And you're not supposed to be using a whisk for cookies, just so you know. Because you're supposed to make a, like a dough, cookie dough. So you got to kind of fold it and stir it. And so yeah, and again, that's kind of, once I got out of, the kitchen, it was a struggle, you know what I mean? Because I just like, getting out of the Marine Corps, you lose that sense of purpose, you lose that sense of identity, right? And then you have, just all the crap that came with it, that you're living with. And now, and that's kind of how it was when I got out of the culinary, when I got out of the kitchen, I kind of lost my sense of purpose. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So again, that still, I was still trying to live on that, booze and hate, but I needed somebody to hate. I needed somebody to be my enemy, right? And I lived with that for many years, and it was a grind. It was a struggle, and it was at a time in my life where I was about to lose everything, and God told me something had to break. And that's when I realized that what I was doing was very, very detrimental to not only my health, but my family, right? I mean, I have 4 kids. I have a wife. I've been married since, for 14, 15 years now. And did I really want to lose all of that, right? Just because of my pride and my ego? No, I didn't, right? So I had to figure out how to change my mindset. God said something had to break, and that breaking was me, right? And I had to learn how to change my mindset, how to capture those thoughts, how to put those thoughts down and live in a more of a light, live in more of a light, right? And not live in so much darkness and chaos and, I guess, hate. So that's kind of, exactly, what happened. I remember, we were separated, and I was, on my floor one day, just fed up. And then, it's like God audibly spoke and said something had to break. So ever since then, I've been trying to be 1% better than I can be each and every day, right? 1% better than I was yesterday. And by doing so, it's really easy to get complacent. And the best thing that I've found is gratitude, right? Trying to be grateful for just the eyes to see, the mouth to speak, and the ears to hear, the breath in your lungs, right? If you can start to be grateful for just those tiny little things, your lens will start to change. Your eyes will start to open to all the different things that you are grateful for. And then you can start living in a presence of gratitude. You can start to, be appreciative of the blessings in your life. And while you're doing that and you're seeking God, you're going to start to manifest those things in your life, right? Because energy goes where energy flows. So obviously, you can, if with my life, I can see that, of course, that's why all these things happened in my life, because I had negative energy that I was bringing on, I was pushing, I was giving out. We are radiance. We are a frequency, and that's why, when your wife walks in the room and she's pissed off about something, you can tell. She doesn't have to say anything. You can just tell that they're pissed off, right? Because we radiate, right? And we have beacons basically that can sense those things. So you can't tell me that, we don't have frequency, because we do. And that led me down this really cool path of, learning about God and seeking God, and then looking within, and I was able to, again, find my identity, find who God says I am, right? There's tons of, I mean, that's something maybe I could talk about some other time, but, I just think of Jesus as like the OG. Like, he came to disrupt the culture, to disrupt the scene, right? But a lot of times I feel like we're still living as if we are the Pharisees and the Sadducees, especially in the church, right? So it's time to maybe, disrupt the scene a little bit, right? And understand who you are, understand your identity, right? And that comes from seeking God and getting in your secret place and finding, those answers within. The Bible is going to be a really good tool to help you, meditate on his word, right? But I was able to, find that. I was able to find that identity. I was able to, crush those limiting beliefs. And, I spent a lot of time in the hospital once, and it was a week before my son's birthday, and I thought to myself, what am I doing? What is going on? You know what I mean? So I had to really, really dig deep, and I let a lot of things, from my past, I guess haunt me and I guess run my life. So basically, it was like a aha moment, right? God was just like, "Hey, something had to break," and now I'm in the hospital, about ready to miss my son's birthday, and I'm like, "What is going on?" Like I need to get my act together, and I did. I got my act together, and I said, "Nope, this is not how I want to live my life. This is not how I want to do things." Right? I am not going to be in this position again. And I did that, and it takes work, it takes effort, it takes constant effort to do those things, right? You have to be investing in yourself. You have to be putting in the work and the time that's needed, so that way you can grow, that way you can learn, so that way you can keep your mind right. Just like anything, freedom isn't free, right? If anybody thinks that freedom's free, then you don't know what the cost of sacrifice is, right? Because nothing in this world is free, right? And in order for you to stay out of bondage, right, you're going to have to do some work in order to keep free, right? To stay out of those chains, because the enemy's always trying to keep you in chains. And, and I'm still learning this, but I think it's, it's like, why is it so much easier to be in bondage? Why is it so much easier to live in darkness, right, than it is to live in light? Or is that just our perception? Or is that just, the world's limiting beliefs that have been put on us, right? So now we think that it's easier to live in that darkness, right, compared to living in the light. Well, I don't know. That may be another topic of discussion some other time, but that's kind of what happened. That's kind of how it propelled me into where I'm at now, right? Because I've been able to break those limiting beliefs. I've been able to tear those lies down, right? And I've been able to start 2 businesses. I've been able to start making money online. I've been able to say, you know what? I don't know anything about this software. I don't know anything about selling. I don't know anything about any of this stuff. But guess what? I have the mind, and that I have a mind, and I have the mind of Christ, right? And he gives me the talents and abilities that I need in order to make wealth and create wealth. So that's exactly what I'm doing. But again, it takes time and it takes effort, because I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and be like, well, how come they're successful? I'm not. That's because I'm not doing anything about it, right? I have to put in the work. I have to put in the time. I have to do research. I have to read and study, and most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to do that. And that's fine. You know what I mean? That just means it's not for you. And that's okay. But being an entrepreneur takes work. Building a business takes work. And that's why nobody does it, because it's so easy to go clock into a 9-to-5 job and not have to worry about anything. You just do your job, right? But somebody else had the vision. Somebody else had the dream, right? Just like Disney. Disney started out as just a dream, right? Just a figment of somebody's imagination. And then what happened to Disney? Look at it now. That's just an example. I don't want anybody coming out and be like, wow, Disney's all demonic or whatever. But, that's just one of those, like, it was in somebody's imagination, and then it became what it is now, right? It's a big, big business, right? And that just shows you that, hey, if you put your mind to it and you put in the work, you put in the time, right, and you don't quit, then it will succeed. But a lot of times we quit before it even gets good, right? We quit right before it starts to turn, right? Could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now. We're not seeing the results that we should have, or we're looking at everybody else's success and thinking, you know what? I must not be cut out for it. So I'm done. I'm just gonna quit. But if you would have kept going, if you would have kept pushing, right, it would have taken off. Right? It only takes that one moment. It only takes that one, you know, I don't even know what you'd call it, but it just takes that grind. It takes that, staying focused and knowing your end goal, right? And trying to achieve that end goal. And that's why, making sure that you have goals in place for your business so that way you can crush those goals every single day. Have goals every single day with whatever it is that you want to do. And that comes with work. And I think that our mindset is the biggest factor that we need to have, because most people don't have the mindset. Again, it's easy to just go to work from 9 to 5, right? And then come back home and sit on YouTube and sit on TV and just be mindless. That's what we've been geared to think, right? And if you read Manufacturing of Consent, it's a really good book. You should read it. But it talks about how society and the government uses media to control people's minds, emotions, right? That's the human resources department. That's the media. They do a very good job in making sure that we are exactly where we are, right? We need to be complacent. We need to be lazy. We need to be mindless, because it's a lot easier to control people when they are, right? They don't want you to start learning high income skills. They don't want you to start opening your own businesses, right? Because they're the ones at the top making the money, right? Because you're working for them. So, people that have a rich mindset, not a poverty mindset, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll buy assets rather than liabilities, right? So think about that. Whereas us, we're consumers, we usually buy liabilities, right? We're always buying things that are never going to give us return, right? And we're spending massive amounts of it because America is a consumer culture. But the people that and those are people that have like a poverty mindset, right? And if you think about it, the people that have rich mindsets or not a poverty mindset, they're using their money and their talents and their abilities to buy assets so that way they can make money. So instead of just going out and buying a $60,000 car, right, they figure out how they can generate income to pay for that car. Do you see the difference? And that I wouldn't know that unless I started reading books. I wouldn't know that unless I was researching, right? But again, when you start to understand that your mindset is going to dictate your trajectory, then you start to understand how you need to think, what you need to do in order to get you from A to B, get you from goal to goal to goal, to figure out how you can streamline this business and automate it and propel it further than you ever thought it could be propelled. But again, it takes dedication, it takes time, and it takes effort. And nobody wants to put in the time, right? Nobody wants to put in the effort, because again, we'd rather sit on the sidelines and say, wow, I wish I could have that success. Or how come I'm not that successful? I'm doing apparently what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not getting that kind of success. So I'm upset. I'm going to quit. And that's exactly how your mindset is killing you, right? It's destroying you, because no matter what it is, like, yeah, you still have to have that competitive edge, right? You still have to be like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be better than everybody else. And that's okay to have a mindset, a competitive mindset, because you have to have a competitive mindset, especially in the business world. Otherwise, you'll get eaten alive, right? But I think far too often we have too many pacifists, that think everybody's just supposed to, it's all about love and here you go, and you're right. We should be loving everybody. We should be, but at the same time, like, what are we doing, right? How, especially us as Christians, right? We're all about giving back to the kingdom. How are we supposed to give back to the kingdom more if we have no money, if we're not building wealth? The Bible tells us to build wealth for our children's children, and God gives us the talents and abilities to generate wealth. So what are we doing, right? And that's a whole nother topic that eventually I'll talk about, but the money within the church. billions and billions of dollars. But what are we doing with that money? Right? We got starving kids on the street. We got homeless all over the place. And people are like, well, they chose to be there, right? They're all a bunch of drug addicts, whatever the case may be. So why would we pay for that? Why would we put money towards that? Because they're not going to want to be saved, or they're not going to want to help. Well, that's exactly where the enemy wants us, right? The enemy wants us to think that way. That's because we're individualistic. And by being individualistic, it's more about me, or I. What can I get out of everything? Instead of having a servant mindset of what can I do to help the people around me? What can I do to make a difference? What can I do to make an impact on this earth? Right? Because again, if we're thinking that earth, that this is not our final resting place, right? And heaven is our goal, then what are we doing on this earth to make an impact? But most people are sitting on the sidelines complaining and arguing about the things that don't even matter, instead of actually doing anything to make an impact on this earth. So I guess I challenge you. What are you doing to make an impact on this earth, right? What are we doing to build generational wealth? What are we doing to have a kingdom mindset and build, and bring back, wealth for the kingdom, or feed the homeless, wherever your heart's at, what are we doing? The only thing I can say is, I started Digital Kingdom Creations to build a community, to build a tribe, to build entrepreneurs who want to start to make money online, right? And who want to monetize their passion, who want to figure out how they can build generational wealth. How can they leave money for their children? How can they leave money for the kingdom? Right? And that's exactly what we need to be doing, right? Instead of waiting for somebody else to come along and say, well, here you go. Here's, $1,000. You can, go get some clothing, whatever the kid. What if you had enough money to where that $1,000 you wouldn't even hesitate. You just say, here you go. Don't worry about it. You go get some clothes or whatever the case may be. What if you had that much money? Now, of course, I can see where it'd be difficult to try to give money away because you've worked really hard for it. But if we're in a kingdom mindset, that money is not ours, right? That money is God's. God has blessed us with the talents and abilities to create wealth, and everything is his. So therefore, if we do what the Bible tells us, which is to take care of the poor, take care of the widows, right? Make sure that the sick are taken care of. Then what are we doing with that? That's what I want to be doing. I want to be able to leave generational wealth for my family, right? But also make an impact on this earth somehow, some way. And a lot of times that requires money, right? You can't build wells for water in other countries without money, right? You can't feed the homeless without money. You can't buy clothing to clothe the children on the streets, right? Again, it's a tool. Money is our tool. And what are we doing to equip ourselves to get those tools so that way we can build the kingdom outside of our own kingdom, right? What are we doing to equip ourselves to gather our tools, right? Gather our tools, right? As a community, as a church, and disseminate, or whatever you call it, and give back. What are we doing with that? I'm not saying churches don't do that. I'm not saying nobody does that. I'm not saying, I just think we could do a lot better of a job, right? Not paying for $10 million buildings with, $600,000, mortgage every month. I mean, come on. I mean, we can get real a little bit. And that's exactly what this channel is for, right? To talk about the no BS, to talk about the lies and the delusions that society has placed upon us. And we buy into it. That's the thing, is we buy into it most of the time. But the thing is what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, let's see. Facebook. I don't have. Let me see. I have to bring up Facebook. The chat is only read only chat and restream for an hour or longer. Hey, can you hand me that energy drink up there? But yeah, so I got that. So that's exactly. Is there anything in it? No. Oh. I'm gonna grab you another one. So that's kind of where my heart is, and you know, getting into this space, I had limiting beliefs. I had struggles. I had a lot of issues because I thought it was too good to be true. I didn't think I had enough knowledge about it. I didn't think that I was capable of doing it at all. I don't want that one. Just want the orange one. Yeah. Thank you, though. And the thing is, we can figure out a game plan for you and figure out what you are passionate about. Figure out what we can be doing to monetize your passion, right? And it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take a tenacity like you wouldn't believe. Celsius, if you want to sponsor me, please do so. Yeah. I love it. I love Celsius. That's all I can say. The orange flavor is the only way to go. I hate all the other flavors, but cola is actually pretty good. I like cola. But cola and orange are my favorite.
I love all of them. They're really good.
He doesn't drink energy drinks. He's just trying to sound cool. But he's tried them, but he doesn't drink them. But yeah, we can monetize your passion. We can find something that you're passionate about and build a business plan around it. And we can create digital products around it. We can take t-shirts around it. We can create a platform around it. And the thing is, within this digital space, Forbes said it's going to be a $1 trillion industry by 2026. So what does that tell you? That tells you that it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere and it's staying. So therefore, you need to get on board, right? You can do this part-time, and that way you can build while you're still working. And again, it's going to take time. It's going to take effort, right? You might lose, a little bit of sleep here and there, or on your off days, you're going to have to work and work and work. But you can build some, you can build it on the side. A lot of us have done that. A lot of us went to college, right, and had a job on the side, plus took care of kids. I feel it. I know. But we did it then, so why can't you do it now, right? We a lot of people work 2 jobs, right? Plan out your day. Plan out your day in 30-minute increments and figure out how much time can you put into this? How much time can I spare so that way I can build the business of my dreams? How much time can I spare to monetize my passions? That's it. And then it's either you do, or it's either you're either now, later, or never. So you're either going to do it now, or you're going to do it later, or you're never going to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Just know that I'm still going to be here. And if you need help, I'm here to help you, right? I love giving back. I love service. I love helping people. And that's exactly what I do. I want to be able to help people with their mental health journey and to be able to build their business online. As simple as that. And I've got the tools and softwares and platforms that'll get you rolling like you wouldn't believe. And I'll teach you the ins and outs of all of it. I'll teach you how to build funnels. I'll teach you how to build websites. I'll teach you how to build emails. I'll teach you how to do everything for your business. But you have to be teachable. And you have to put in the work. Because I don't want to just play around, right? Because my time's value is valuable as well. And I've got other people to help. I got other people to serve. And they require time and attention as well. but I want people that are going to actually put in the work, that who actually want to build a business. And building a business is hard work. I'm sorry if you got, if you somebody blew smoke up your butt and said this is going to be some easy thing where you post a few pictures and all of a sudden you're going to be making millions of dollars. No, right? And a lot of those income claims are probably fake. I don't know, but that's the reality that you have to live with, right? Maybe you bought a course thinking that all you could do is resell it and make lots of money right away. That's not true, right? It's like you're a business within hundreds of thousands of other people, right? Trying to do the same thing. So you have to get yourself known, right? You have to start promoting yourself as the brand, right? And getting it out there. And that's with any business, right? Just think of t-shirts. When I started my t-shirt company, I was like, there's no way people are going to buy this. You know what I mean? Like there's so many t-shirts. I get like 5 or 6 new companies every single day in my feed. Like nobody's going to want this, but you have to at least start somewhere, and you have to keep putting either paying for ads or putting your content in front of people. And that requires work. It requires you to make 3 reels a day, right? To do lives, to make content that is going to get your stuff out there for people to see. And it takes a little bit of time, and that's exactly, what any business does. Otherwise, you're just a business in a whole sea, right? And people are looking over it going, wow, look at all these different businesses, but they can't see which business it is, right? Because they haven't flown close enough to it yet, right? They haven't gotten close enough to the ocean floor or the ocean to actually see your business, right? It's kind of how I see it, right? It's like you have a whole bunch of boats and people are way up here in the sky and they're looking down, but they can't see you yet because they're not close enough. And that's what I mean by getting your content out there. And the more content you put out there, the more people are it's going to get in their face. And when they start getting it in their face, they're going to go, wow, I really like that. Let me see what this is all about. And then they're going to start following you, and they're going to start looking at your content, and then they're going to start liking you and trusting you, and then eventually they're going to buy from you. That's how it works, right? And eventually you can be in the malls. Eventually you can be, a brick and mortar store, whatever the case may be, whatever your dreams or ambitions are. But you have to start somewhere. And if you don't start anywhere, then you'll never know, right? You'll never know and then you're going to have that regret too. And that's one thing I told myself. I was like, well, I want to do this. I've wanted to do it for so long, but I've been too afraid to do it. And then I finally got my act together and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this because I'm afraid that I'm going to regret this when I'm 60, right? When I'm 60, I'm going to look back at my life and say, wow, what could I have done better, right? And I do that today. I still reflect on my life, and I think we all should, because what can we do better? What can we do better than... Hey, Jaden, can you shut that door? That's really loud. I'm sure you guys can hear it. Oh, that's so much better. I can't even hear myself talk. It's so loud. What? I hear just fine. I've got a lot of hearing loss, but I can still hear. Where was I at? How long have I been on? I've been on for 40 minutes. So yeah, and that's the thing, is the same thing with, any of this, right? You'll never know if you don't try. And if you want to build a business, if you want to start an online business, that's exactly what, these courses will do. It'll teach you the skills that you need to start an online business, right? That's exactly what Kingdom Coaching will do. And then Redirect is going to be there to help streamline and automate your business. Plus, you get daily coaching with it. To me, it's one of those, what are you going to invest in, right? You have to be able to invest in yourself. And by investing in these platforms or investing in a course, you're taking the first step. You're investing into the knowledge, right? Because a lot of these digital products, you're buying education. So you have to think of it that way. You're buying education so that way you can learn how to start a business, right? And then redirect is a business within itself, right? Because that, it's going to house all your features, such as your automations, your funnels, right? Your back end support, your back end analytics. And they're going to give you PLRs that you can resell. But with both of those combined, you've got literally a powerhouse of a business already done for you, right? So that way you can at least start your online business. And now you can start working on hopefully creating your own products or creating your own course or finding whatever it is that you're passionate about. So that way you can start getting that out there to people, right? Monetizing your passion, right? Whether it's cooking, whether it's helping people, whether it's mental health, whether it's cookies. I heard a story the other day about a lady who she bought a course, but she never really promoted the course, right? She just promoted her cookies, her cookie recipe. And she made it hundreds of thousands of dollars just off of a cookie recipe. So I'm just telling you that, yes, it's possible, but it's only possible if you try and you don't quit. I don't know how long it took her to get to that point. I have no idea. It probably took her a long time. And that requires showing up every day. That requires putting content out there. That requires the grind and the daily tenacity that it takes in order to get to that level, right? It's like a game. What are you going to do every single day to level yourself up, right? What are you doing every single day to become better than the person before you or in front of you, right? Because it's a game. Everybody's trying to do their very best. Everybody's trying to be the best that they can be, but how can you be better than everybody else so that way you can level up? Right? What are you doing? Are you seeking knowledge? Are you learning everything you can about the industry? Are you getting yourself out there and in front of people? That's leveling up, right? It's just like a video game. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know, it reminds me of like Skyrim, right? Are you leveling up? Are you seeking knowledge? Are you intaking your food, right? Are you intaking, I don't know. It's kind of a bad analogy, but are you leveling up? And that requires, maybe reading a few books, maybe finding, experts within the industry that you can learn from, doing live calls, right? Following the steps of somebody else before you that's already done it. That's what it takes. But most people are too afraid to even start. Most people won't even get to the starting point because they already have enough limiting beliefs and they've already spoke it into existence that they can't do it, they're not smart enough, or it's not real. And again, the Bible tells us that words have power. So if you're going to sit here and say, well, that's not true, well, then you've already put that out there. You've already created that in the existence that it's not true. So now you're going to know that it's not true. You're going to think that it's not true. And even if you try, when anything goes wrong, you're going to be like, see, told you, it's not true. Not true. And it's going to make it even harder for you to succeed because the limiting beliefs that you have. And that's why mindset is the most crucial aspect, in my opinion. Because if you don't have, you don't have your mental health, your physical health, all in line, right? And your spiritual health all in line, then they're going to get out of whack, right? And you're going to start to have, the enemy is going to start coming after you and saying, hey, you're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You need to do something else, right? What are you doing? But if you have a strong will, you have, a good mindset, you're going to know, well, you know what? That's okay. This may not be going as planned, but I'm showing up every single day. And I always think of KFC, right? KFC had their recipe. That dude, Colonel Sanders was what? By the time he actually sold his recipe, he was like in his 60s or something like that. And he went to thousands of people to sell his recipe. Now think of that. Back then, that means you'd have to travel long distances to go and see people, right? To go and meet people. They didn't have planes, they didn't have, technology. And he had to go and present his product in front of people. They had to test it. They had to try it. And it took him thousands of times, probably. I don't know how many times it actually was, but it probably took him hundreds, if not thousands of times before somebody said, you know what? I like that. I really like that. I'm going to buy this recipe, or I'm going to invest in you so that way, we can make this global. We can make, somebody saw the value in it. Somebody saw the value in him, right? So they invested in him. And again, that's what you need to do as well. You need to be able to see the value in things and invest your time and your effort into that, because a lot of times when you invest in these things, these platforms, these courses, you're going to get return back, right? Somebody's replying to me. Oh. That's a good one right here. It's sitting there consuming free content and not implementing is just making you feel productive. It's called mental. Okay, that's funny. Well then, well, thank you for that. Who's this guy that wants to join my live? But yeah, it's I don't think that it'll be a good idea to join. Let's see. Yeah, I've got so many new faces these days. It's crazy. I reach about 10,000 people a day. And that's the glorious thing about, social media. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a business idea and you want to create a business and start a business, social media is imperative, right? As long as you understand how to, get the hooks and CTAs and understand how to deliver that information to them without, spamming or, putting your website on blast everywhere, you're going to get in front of people that need to see it. And your business is going to skyrocket, right? It may not be for, a few months, may not be for a year or so, but that's what business is, right? Business is that you're going to pay your employees before you reap the benefits, right? Or, and that's the thing is a lot of people don't have that tenacity. A lot of people don't have that drive because they want everything to be easy and simple and as little effort as possible. So when you kind of put a little oomph into it, it's not for them. And that's fun. That's why people that are building businesses, are competitive, right? They have a ferocious nature to them that a lot of people don't have, right? Yeah, they'll be friendly to you, right? Obviously, we'll be friends with each other, whatever, but just know that I'm going to crush you. And that's kind of like how my mentality is as well. I'll love everybody, but at the end of the day, how am I becoming better than that how am I becoming better than that person if they are at a level that I need to be at? And that's the mindset we need to have, right? I went from not using, because before I'd have to hate everybody. I'd have to have an enemy, right? I'd have to have an enemy. And I guess it's kind of the same concept, but it's in a more loving way, I guess. A more competitive nature instead of, being angry and pissed off about it. I would just be like, oh, okay, well, cool. What are you doing? You're doing that, and that. All right, well, how can I do that, and that, but do it better? And that's just competitive nature. And we need to be able to have that competitiveness, especially within business. And if you don't have that, then I don't know. Maybe it's not for you. But I'm learning every single day. I am searching and seeking everybody around me. I'm looking and seeing, well, what are they doing? How are they doing it? Asking questions like, what are you doing with this? How are you doing that? What's your main struggles? And I ask people, I seek information and knowledge, and I see, okay, well, here's pain points. And I'm trying to find, because that's, again, when you're starting an online business, you need to be able to come up with a solution to people's problems. And that's exactly what we're doing, right? Let's just say that you're a single mother, right? And you want to be able to make extra money. Then that's exactly what you'll do, right? You'll teach people how to monetize their passion so that way they can start making the extra couple $100 a month, or whatever it is. And that's quite a bit of money in my opinion. A couple $100 a month to start building a business online. I mean, that's pretty good, right? Now obviously, it'd be great to be thousands of dollars, but at the same time, you're starting out. You're starting an online business. It's going to take time to build. Nothing worth anything just happens overnight. Right? It takes time, it takes effort. And I keep saying that. And I don't know how many times I have to say that, but maybe I think, who was it? Somebody told me that Grant Cardone says, a lot of times you have to tell people at least 15 times before they actually get it, right? I can tell you how to do stuff. I can tell you that it's going to take time and effort, but you're still not going to understand. You're still not going to get it, right? And that's why I keep saying this stuff. Like, it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. You have to grind. You have to put in the work, because eventually it's going to click, right? That's what it did for me. It had to click. And then once it clicks, your mindset changes. You look at everything in a different lens. And when you start looking at everything in a different lens, you're going to go after it, right? And then when you start seeing results, you're going to go after it even harder. And you're going to be like, you know what? This works. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And I'm seeing results. And then those results become almost like, it's almost addicting, because you're like, guess what? I did this, this, and this, and I got this result. So now how can I push that further? How can I get better? How can I reach more people? How can I make more money? Simple as that, and that's exactly what I'm doing. But yes, if you guys want to know more, if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you guys want to go to my website, Digital Kingdom Creations, and I can, which I need to check my calendar. I haven't checked my calendar yet today. Hopefully nobody scheduled anything. I checked it last night and nobody scheduled anything, but let me check it real quick. See if I got any demos to teach people about an amazing platform called Redirect. And dashboard, calendar. Nope. And that's the beautiful thing, with Redirect, is you get daily coaching every single day. I was already on 2 calls today. Learning from some of the industry's top dogs. You know what I mean? And it was just phenomenal. And I'm frozen on Instagram, huh? I always freeze on Instagram. I don't know why. I'm always freezing on Instagram. The gram just don't like me, I guess. Yeah, sending data. I'm frozen. So hold on. Hold on. I'm almost there. Come on. I had to do this last night too. It froze on me, and then I had to restart. And it was about the 40-minute mark when it started to freeze. So I wonder if they're just not liking the idea that I'm on for so long. So I guess we'll do this. Discard. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll start a new live on Instagram, because the gram just don't like it, I guess. It seems like, yeah, because I did that last night. So now this is the longest I've been on a live. Last night I was on for, oh gosh, it was about 2 hours. It was about 2 hours. So 2 hours I was on last night, and that's my goal. My goal is whenever I got time, my time that I usually have is during the day, right? Because me and my wife both work out of the house, right? My wife is a live closed captioner, so if you watch the news, and then I run a t-shirt company and have other investments, and yeah, it's been pretty neat, and trying to build a business online. There's no easy task for anybody, but it gets easier. So Instagram is up now. It's working cool. Um, it might just be my computer. I don't know. But let me pull up Facebook here and then see if anybody is live.
Dad, look at this. Watch.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that before.
Mom texted you.
What's she saying? But yeah, you have to be able to be a product of the product, right? Or learn, or well, what do you say? I forgot how it's. That was kind of. But I got people messaging me on Facebook. I'm not sure why. I got to figure out. I might have to change streaming platforms because I don't get any text messages through or messages in here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but more often than not, it doesn't work. So, but the greatest thing that I could say is like by investing, that means you're going to have to maybe spend some money, right? You're going to have to spend some money on a platform, right? Like Redirect. And that platform, like Redirect, is going to invest back into you because you have coaches within there that are coaching you every single day, all day long. There's coaches, right? And they're investing back into your business by teaching you the foundational material or the skills that you need in order to build your business, streamline your business. And that's the beautiful part about it. And you can resell this software. So that's really cool. So you not only do you get all the automations, not only do you get the websites and funnels and PLRs and all of that jazz, but you get coaching from some of the industry's top leaders. And that's really cool in my opinion. Not a lot of courses have daily coaching every single day. Not a lot of courses have, the amount of things, the amount of software and the amount of products that are within Redirect far surpasses the $97 a month, in my opinion. But the coaching is invaluable, right? Because you can't put a price on coaching. I mean, you can, because a lot of these coaches that are within there, they charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars to coach outside of Redirect. But I'm just saying that you can't put a price on it because this simple somebody's simple strategy or learning could potentially propel your business into making hundreds if not thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? As long as because again, you're taking people's proven strategies and you're trying to implement them in your business, right? Or you're finding your own strategies, you know, and learning what they're doing. These are people that have done it and have been there. So you have to be able to, kind of become a student of the teacher, right? And you have to be able to kind of do what they're saying. You have to be able to implement the things that they ask so that way you can see if they work or not. And that's what I'm doing, right? I'm prospecting. I'm going out there and I'm seeking, I'm looking at who's all out there and I'm talking to everybody I can, right? I'm networking, right? I'm shaking people's hands because the more hands you shake, the more money you make, they say. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. Remember that. So you have to be able to get out there. You have to be out there and shake hands. You have to be able to talk to everybody that you see and know, and who cares, right? Don't be shy is what I'm saying. And it's going to be for some people and it's not going to be for others. And that's okay. Right? Rejection is okay. But again, a lot of people are afraid. I was afraid. I'm like, what if they say no? What if they're like, why are you talking to me? What if they're like, what the heck? You don't need to sell me on nothing. Well, that's fine. That's okay. But you're going to get some people that are going to go, wow, why didn't you tell me this sooner? This is awesome. Where can I sign up? Where can I get this information? How can you coach me? Etc., etc. So it's just one of those things. Like, don't be afraid to talk to anybody, because that was my biggest hurdle, was talking to people, like getting into people's DMs, right? Trying to figure out conversations to start with people, because you got all these people who are like all upset and butthurt about cold DMing and talking about, don't get in and start selling everything. But that's what networking is, right? You have to figure out how to initiate the conversation and then find some common interest or common ground. And then you can maybe pitch the idea, and again, selling is sharing, right? And the idea is that the platform that you are selling or the material that you are selling is solving a problem. Right? It has to be able to solve a problem. Otherwise, there's no point in trying to pitch it, right? And the problem that you're solving, especially with redirect, is instead of juggling multiple platforms, you get everything in one platform, right? Instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching outside of redirect, you get it all in redirect, right? Instead of spending money on a whole bunch of PLRs, right, and material, you get over 100 PLRs in material, right? Instead of buying multiple different platforms or softwares, such as automations, right, ClickFunnels, websites, like Zapier, Beacons, StanStore, all those different types of platforms, you have it all in one place. So again, it's just value on top of value, and not even mention that, like there's courses within redirect, right? They're going to teach you exactly how to use the software. Not only that, they're going to teach you on social selling, the Instagram, the TikTok, right? The YouTube, it's just, there's so much within it that it would be insensitive, I guess, for me to not tell you about this, because there's so much value within it. The daily coaching alone, to me, is the most important part, right? Because you need to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, right? You can't fly with eagles when you flock with chickens. Remember that. You can't fly with eagles when you flock with chickens. So I want to be around the eagles, right? I want to be around the eagles that are flying higher and higher and higher, because the great thing about eagles is the only other animal that tries to, pester an eagle are crows. And crows, they'll sit there and they'll just nag and nag and nag and nag. But eagles, what they do is they fly higher and higher and higher and higher into the atmosphere, to where the oxygen level gets very thin. And then it gets to the point to where the crow can't breathe and they fall off or they die off, right? And that's what you need to be as an eagle, right? You need to make sure that you are flying higher than everybody else. You're not letting the opinions of everybody else run you or rule your life. Because at the end of the day, nobody's opinions matter. Nobody's opinions matter except for the opinions that you think of yourself, right? And the fact that you understand, like, your identity. You understand who you are. And that comes with looking within, right? Now, obviously, if somebody says, hey, you should probably quit smoking, it's bad for you, that's somebody's opinion, but you should probably take that into consideration, right? So you should take them into consideration, but maybe don't give it too much thought, and don't let the limiting beliefs of other people dictate your life. And I see that far too often. Too many people have limiting beliefs, and those limiting beliefs are from somebody else. and oh, my lips are chapped, are from somebody else. And those limiting beliefs are, put on people because of somebody else's opinions. And when you start to understand that nobody else's opinion matters, then you start to realize your true, I guess, your trueness. Yeah. You're going to start to realize those things, and you're going to start to tear those limiting beliefs down, and yeah. My son's cooking cookies, or he's baking cookies. So that's really cool. But I've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to get off, and I'll get back on a little bit later. Again, I'm doing what other people have done, that have come before me, that have been there, that have done it, that have made money in this space. So I'm just I'm utilizing different techniques, right? I'm seeing what works, what doesn't work. I'm trying to, talk to the audience that I need to talk to, right? And that's exactly what you need to be doing if you want to build an online business. And it comes with work, it comes with dedication. So don't think that you can just get online and just start making money right away. Like, and if you want somebody to help you and coach you along the way, if you need somebody that's going to keep you straight, keep you on the straight and narrow, all right, digitalkingdomcreations.com, or you can DM me and we can talk about it, and I can point you in the right directions and how I can help you and help you streamline and automate your business. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to help. At the end of the day, that's exactly what I want to be doing, is helping you build the business of your dreams. And if that's something for you, then comment or send me a DM or go to my website and schedule a call. Otherwise, God bless, and we'll see you guys next time.